Good morning, everyone. My name is Janet Tucci, and I have the honor and privilege of being the mayor of West Long Branch. Welcome to West Long Branch, Governor Murphy. We are so honored that you came today to share this wonderful news that all our young children will now receive a full-day preschool program. This will serve to better prepare them for kindergarten, as well as help to enhance their social and emotional development. I would like to acknowledge our superintendent, Dr. Christina Egan, and Ms. Lolly Yacona. Lolly is the Director of Special Services and Preschool Services who helped develop the grant which we have received to make this possible. I know that Mr. Jim Earhart, our principal, will guarantee that this program will be successful, as all the programs are here at Betty McElman School. I also know that Dr. Betty McElman, who was my first grade teacher, and for whom this school is named, is looking down today with a big smile. Yes. Thank you, Governor Murphy, for recognizing West Long Branch Public Schools.
I didn't realize that Betty was a educator, so I should have known that. That's pretty cool. Good morning, everybody. I got to use my best teacher's voice here. Hello, Teresa. I didn't see you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had a wardrobe malfunction.
As they say, we'll leave it at that. Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for having me. Incredibly honored to be here. Mayor, that was a very gracious introduction. You've done a great job in this community, and it's high time that I got to West Long Branch to hang out with you, so thank you so much for that. I want to also thank the superintendent, Dr. Christina Egan, who just conducted an extraordinary tour with the commissioner and myself. We'll be hearing more from Christina shortly. Director of the aforementioned of Special Services, Lolita Yacona. Lolita, where'd you end up? It can't be true, but I'm told Lolita's been doing this for 44 years. We got to give Lolita. That is really, really incredible. God bless you. Principal James Earhart, when I'm in a school, I do what the principal tells me to do. So if I get out of line, let me know. And I want to also welcome all the educators, staff, especially the kids from Betty McElman Elementary School. I also want to thank, because they were really good to us, Mrs. Miles and Mrs. Bronner for welcoming our acting education commissioner, Dr. Angelica Allen McMillan, and me into their classroom this morning to spend some time with and to learn right alongside some incredible young people. I have a new appreciation for color, mothers versus children, and other assorted lessons. Before I go on, I have to note, and by the way, I know this not just because my team told me this, my oldest son, Josh, told me this, and that is that this is McElman Elementary's Spirit Week. And the theme for the week is the Week of Respect, and today is Team Jersey Day. And I frankly wish I had come a little bit more appropriately dressed, speaking of wardrobe malfunctions. But for kids, learning to respect each other's differences can be as simple as learning to respect their choices of sports teams and the teams that they root for, and that we could be competitors on the field but friends off of it. And I think that's a terrific lesson to learn, and I'm pleased to see this lesson in action. The reason my son told me FC Dutchman is a big soccer team that has a huge presence in West Long Branch, and he's been associated with that. So for many reasons, I'm thrilled to be here. And by the way, we had one Packers jersey and one Giants jersey, and I noted that they were facing off this Sunday in London, so a little bit more. I gave her a hug a minute ago, but I'm incredibly honored as well that we're joined by the Senate Majority Leader, Senator Teresa Ruiz, who is a true champion of education, period, and of preschool education. And Senator Ruiz is also the former chair of the Senate Education Committee, and so she comes by this with great experience. Donna Chair is in the House. Donna, great to have you president of the American Federation of Teachers in New Jersey, and to you and all your fellow educators. Bless you. I said to Donna I didn't recognize her without her camera, and she solved that riddle for me. So, as the mayor mentioned, we are here today to help inaugurate, although a few weeks into the school year, this new class of pre-K learning here in West Long Branch. And these children, full day, by the way, very importantly, these children are among the more than 2,100 3- and 4-year-olds in 27 districts statewide who now have access to free full-day pre-K thanks to the state budget's investment of $26 million in pre-K expansion aid. And this is a critical part of the budget that we enacted with the help, as I mentioned, of not just the majority leader who's with us today, but the Senate President Nick Scuteri, the Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin, and their respective colleagues, including a guy who wanted to be here today and could not, and this is in his backyard, Education Committee Chair Senator Vin Gopal, who again hails from here in the 11th District. And I also want to give a shout out to Assemblywoman Pam Lampett, and all of them were incredibly instrumental. And to be sure, by the way, this is a good opportunity for me to look to the cameras and spread the word. There is still a remaining $14 million in available expansion aid in this very year. The department, under Angelica's leadership, is currently working with those districts who may not have been part of the initial awards to boost their applications so they can get in on the second tranche of funding. Districts that did not apply in the first round but would like to open a program for the second half of the 2023 school year will also have an opportunity to apply for the remaining funds. We do not, I know I can speak for the commissioner, the majority leader, everybody associated with this, we do not intend for this money to sit idle. We do intend for it to go to work educating the next generation. So the budget that I signed and proudly signed continues us along the path that we began to blaze 5 years ago, a path on which we have increased public pre-K funding by more than $310 million from when we began increasing the number of pre-K classroom seats. And now we've increased those seats by a total of 18,000. So it's $310 million, 18,000 precious little kids who are in full-day pre-K in New Jersey. None of that was a reality 5 years ago. Shamelessly fishing for applause. Today, through our efforts, we have expanded access to free full-day, high-quality pre-K programming in every single county, and roughly 1 in 3 of New Jersey's estimated 210,000 pre-K eligible students now have a seat waiting for them, paid for by us. Moreover, we are committed to remaining on this path and moving toward our goal of achieving universal access to free, full-day, high-quality pre-K programming for every single young learner in our state. More on that in a moment, if I may. Let me back up and acknowledge, I think that there are at least 3 compelling reasons why we have remained so focused on this effort. First, high-quality pre-K programs are critical to making New Jersey an even more affordable place to raise a family. Christina and I had that sidebar conversation in the classroom a few minutes ago. Access to pre-K makes great communities more attractive to and affordable for young working families by removing one of their growing financial barriers, the cost of childcare. It is of particular importance to the working mothers who shoulder an increasingly unbalanced burden and have, especially over the past 2 years during this pandemic, in trying to achieve a proper work-life balance. I also said to Christina, you see this now, we don't have universal pre-K yet, but we will. I think we're going to have the roadmap ready for dissemination after public commentary by sometime in 2023. But until we get universal pre-K, there is this extraordinary phenomenon, and Mayor West Long Branch, I think, either is experiencing this or will, and that is it becomes a magnet for young families, either couples expecting to raise a family or couples with young kids, to come into those communities and either buy a home or rent a home in those communities. I probably need not tell you that, but it's a incredible correlation between free, full day pre-K and what housing values look like in those communities, never mind the affordability burden that is lifted. Secondly, we know that a high-quality pre-K program is the strongest possible way to start a child on a path toward higher achievement, with benefits that follow them throughout their education and across their lives, and which positively impact the entire community. And then third, the investments that we make in pre-K are returned back to us many times over. The National Forum on Early Childhood Policy and Programs, not exactly a title that rolls off the tongue, but they have estimated that every dollar that we invest in our children at the very beginning can pay us back many times over throughout their lives, with a return of up to $9 for every $1 that we invest. Very compelling by any measure. It was a little more than a year ago that I announced New Jersey's intention to become the first state to achieve true universal access to free, high-quality pre-K for every single child. Now, as much as I or anyone else would like, this certainly cannot happen. It does not happen overnight. And it certainly can't happen without careful planning to ensure that state investments can be secured and sustained, and that the local educational foundations are strong and set, so that promises made to parents can be promises kept. So over the past year, my office, under Angelica's leadership, the Department of Education, in close consultation with legislative leaders, have been directly engaged with the National Institute for Early Education at Rutgers University. Let's go Rutgers, to game out the different ways in which we can reach this goal. Today, their preliminary report setting out the means for building the foundation for deliverable and sustainable universal pre-K is actually being released as we speak. Again, that's the preliminary report. The final roadmap will be sometime in 2023. Our teams collectively, along with the great team over at the National Institute for Early Education at Rutgers, have looked at everything we need to scale up our pre-K system to being a universal standard. And some of the elements, some of the moving parts that are incredibly essential, and you won't be surprised by them, from potential funding scenarios to the type of workforce that we need to foster, and from the facility needs in our public education system, and to how, and ultimately to how best to strengthening existing partnerships with organizations like Head Start and other locally based childcare and early education providers. Angelica, I think, will back me up, as will Teresa and others. Part of the reason why some communities don't yet qualify for the pre-K expansion or funding are very simple ones, like they don't have the facilities available. So that's why this has got to be, to pick one example, that's got to be part of that roadmap. And by the way, I might add, such partnerships with organizations like local child care and early education providers or Head Start, I must add, that's how West Long Branch and other school districts can meet their goal of providing high-quality full-day pre-K for its youngest learners. It's not just here at BME, but at Head Start and private preschool providers borough-wide as well. But today, our focus is on this extraordinary school and on the children we just visited, whose educational journeys are able to begin here and now because we work together to deliver for them and for this community. It's a funny thing. A budget in and of itself is a whole lot of pages, a whole lot of numbers, and the only thing that jumps out at you in some cases is my signatures on the last page. But when you walk into a classroom, as we just did, and you feel the energy of these children and their educators, by the way, we have the #1 public education system in America, and it begins with the best educators in America. So when you feel that energy from the kids, from the educators, the leadership, the staff, whether it be superintendents, principals, others, You also feel the promise that a budget holds, and that is a very, very powerful thing. It is a reminder of why we all do this, frankly, in the first place. From those of us in public office to the folks in the classroom, we do it to make a difference in the lives of New Jerseyans and in the future of our entire state. It is truly a humbling feeling, one like a love of learning that never gets old. Again, thank you so much for having me this morning. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here. Please help me welcome the aforementioned Acting Education Commissioner, Dr. Angelica Allen McMillan. By the way, you had to do certain actions based on the colors you were wearing. I had some blue, so I did the blue. Angelica batted 2 for 2. She had both yellow and black, and had to do some serious exercises.
Yes, yes. What shall remain nameless. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Governor, for the kind introduction. And I want to say good morning and welcome to Senator Ruiz and Mayor Tucci. It's a pleasure to be here with both of you. And congratulations to Superintendent Egan, to members of the West Long Branch Board of Education, and Principal Earhart. As Acting Commissioner of the Department of Education, I am proud of the accomplishments we have made under Governor Murphy's leadership to advance our goal of universal preschool for New Jersey's youngest learners. For nearly a quarter century, New Jersey has been lauded as a leader in early childhood education. New Jersey's journey to full-day, high-quality, universal preschool began in 1998. From that time, the department has expanded its reach by funding an increasing number of high-quality preschool programs across the state in multiple modes of delivery, including private preschool and Head Start programs. However, when Governor Murphy made preschool expansion a priority of his administration, it allowed the department to take a giant leap forward in the number of high-quality preschool programs provided to students statewide. This year alone, the governor's budget included an increase of $68 million for preschool, including $40 million for new districts to start free, full-day, high-quality programs, for a total of nearly $1 billion in preschool aid this year. That deserves a round of applause. With the investments made for preschool expansion under Governor Murphy, with support from our state legislature, an additional 153 new school districts have opened full-day, high-quality preschool programs since fiscal year 2019. This momentous growth stems from an understanding of the importance and necessity of high-quality preschool, paired with a concrete vision to bring programs to more communities. The department's focus on the quality of preschool programs is paramount. We know, and research has proven, that preschool sets the groundwork for academic success. Through our preschool standards, we can ensure small class sizes, full-day programs, certificated teachers, aides in classrooms, and inclusion of curriculum responsive to all children, regardless of socioeconomic status, language, or early intervention. Studies show that children who attend a high-quality preschool program are more likely to succeed academically in grade school, more likely to graduate high school, and more likely to be enrolled, employed, or enlisted upon completion of high school. Beyond this, children who attend preschool achieve higher earnings, have better health, live longer lives, all according to a study by our colleagues at NEAR, reinforcing the return on investment for a stronger, fairer, and more affordable New Jersey. The West Long Branch School District is receiving, for the first time, nearly $250,000 in preschool aid for 18 in-district students. That translates to yet another community where the youngest children are starting their schooling with an amazing springboard for success, one that will benefit the community for years to come. I look forward to seeing the district's program grow to reach universal preschool access for their community. Universal access to preschool is an ambitious and worthy goal. We are pleased to partner with NEAR to identify the obstacles, open options, and chart a path for implementation. The department is committed until our goal is met, and I am eager to engage our early childhood education community, as well as our partners in the child care community, to discuss the options and considerations set forth in the foundational plan in order to inform the final implementation plan for universal preschool in New Jersey. I share Governor Murphy's vision and am proud to join him to continue to make a difference in the lives of children and families in New Jersey. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Angelica, for those words and for your great leadership. And by the way, I must acknowledge, how cool is the art here? I am wonder is a phrase I'm going to carry with me. I love this, both sides. Really way cool. Thank you, Angelica. I mentioned her earlier. She is deeply steeped in educational matters in this state, almost like no one else. She is the former chair of the Senate Education Committee. She serves now as the majority leader in our Senate. Please help me welcome Senator Teresa Ruiz.
I feel compelled to, a moment of personal privilege, I have to fix this flag. Thank you to the mayor for welcoming this Newark girl up to West Long Branch, to the superintendent, to the principal, to all the teachers in the room and the administrators who day in and day out, I've always known you were superheroes, but you definitely demonstrated those strengths during the pandemic and post-pandemic when we're trying to get into a new normal and making sure that our children are wrapped around academically and social, emotionally. So a debt of gratitude to all of you who are making your career commitments in the workspace of our school programs. You've heard it over and over again, but I would be remiss if I didn't repeat it. The governor indicated for every dollar that we put into early childhood programs, you get up to 9 back. There's probably numbers that are even greater than that today. That long-term gains in the form of low rates of incarceration are almost demonstrated when a child is exposed to early childhood high-quality programs. That increased college graduation, as the Commissioner of Education stated, and that the outcomes for having a healthy tax-paying lifestyle in the state is on their outcomes. And I can guarantee you this, as someone who came in from the investment sector, the governor knows very well that this is the best return on the investment that we can ever possibly make during a budget cycle. That for every dollar we put in, the cost of gains academically, the cost of reduction in cost for wraparound services for that child who may be in need of remediation, and we catch it early on. I can go on and on for hours, but I want to point to one fact. And this I learned early. In 2015, before this administration came into fold, I held about 5-hour education committee meeting on the importance of early childhood. And Sam is smiling in the back because he was part of that. And we heard from the public safety sector, we heard from the business sector, and everybody was starting to recognize the importance of this. But nothing was more profound than a kindergarten teacher who came before the committee and showed a demonstration of an assessment that she had done on her own. It wasn't something that was mandated by the state or the district. It was her own teacher assessment to find out where children were on day one. And on one side of the page, she indicated, draw yourself on your first day of school and write your name on the bottom. And the stark difference between the child that had been exposed to some kind of early childhood academic setting versus the child that was just entering kindergarten for the first time in their life. And so you realize that not only were we making an investment in that family and in that child, but we're also lifting the burden of that kindergarten teacher who has to bring all those students up to fold in September, understanding that we can start the race at the starting line and not have children before then. But one thing in my whole time of really learning about this and being mesmerized, there's one fact that always just it makes me critically overwhelmed. More than 1 million new neural connections are formed every second by an infant and an early toddler. Now, you know that doesn't happen to us after the age of 21. We have to see things more than 10 times before we can register what it is. But recognizing that brain development is so critically important that what we put in, the output, can be extraordinary. And I don't say this because I just read the books or I'm attending NCSLs. I did this for a year in a classroom. It was pre-Abbott. I taught 4-year-olds, and it was my inability to expose them to different languages and other things. It wasn't them. That if I was capable of teaching them Mandarin Chinese, they would have picked it up. That when we realize that the more investment we make in the woman, in the womb, in the infant and toddler stages, and in classrooms with high quality performance, the greater the outcomes are and the money that we save long term. So in 2015, I was arguing, we can't spend this, because everybody was looking at it as an expenditure. I said, please don't be short-sighted. This is a common sense approach to making a well-rounded New Jersey taxpayer. And I'll tell you what the stark difference was. In 2018, I got very aggressive with the RIM district, which happens to be in my geographic location, the Township of Belleville, and the administration had shifted. In 2018, the Township of Belleville had 7.8% of their early child care students who were eligible enrolled in a half-day program, 7.8%. In 2022, they are up to 89% enrollment. That is an extraordinary feat. A debt of gratitude to the Division of Early Childhood, we dragged everybody along, but most importantly, a debt of gratitude to an administration that recognizes the importance of making investments in family and children. That without a partner like Governor Murphy and this administration, that we would still have a long way to go. And today is a great opportunity to recognize that we are making inroads. I don't want to be the state that is designated as the #1 public school system in this country, because I know that schools in my district can't carry that banner. I want to be the state that makes a dent in the achievement gap, that understands that we have to do better to be sure that we're creating better equitable spaces. And I know that I have partners in this administration that will have the uncomfortable conversations and the courage to do what is right for our students and our families moving forward. And today is a tangible construction of that. Congratulations to West Long Branch, and predominantly to the families who are so grateful. If we ever thought that child care was babysitting, because you would hear this oftentimes, it's not as important, the pandemic showed proof of what many of us always knew, that this is a variable in the equation of economic development success, not solely for the state, but for this country.
Senator, that was a tour de force. The Belleville numbers take your breath away. Like 7 or 8% up to 80 something?
7.8%, close to 90% today.
That's just extraordinary, and that's only in 4 years.
Yes.
So I commit thank you. I commit party fouls all the time. I've committed one this morning. Assemblywoman Kim Mueller is with us. Kim, great to have you. Great to have you. My bad. And we're both in Monmouth County, so it makes it even more acute that I committed that foul. Shame on me. Great to have you here. Last but not least, she was our tour guide. She's been the superintendent for a couple of years. She does an extraordinary job. Please help me welcome Dr. Christina Egan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
On behalf of the West Long Branch Board of Education, our staff, our students, and our entire school community, I'd like to thank you all for coming today to celebrate the expansion of our Betty McAlmon Elementary School preschool program. This Monday, October 3rd, thanks to the funding provided by the Preschool Education Aid Grant, we proudly welcome children to their first week of full-day preschool. We are grateful and we're thrilled beyond measure to have secured this opportunity to expand access to full-day, high-quality preschool for the children of our community. We all know, and research and long-term studies demonstrate, that high-quality early childhood experiences have a powerful impact on the overall trajectory of children's long-term success. This is the kind of opportunity that changes lives and opens doors. More personally, and beyond the research, we're hearing already from many families of our preschool students that our initial expansion steps, turning our half-day program into full-day classrooms, have already begun to make a difference in their lives. Some explained that the reduced financial burden would create new opportunities for their families, and others were excited about their children having double the time every day to learn, play, and grow with their friends. Over the next several years, we look forward to continuing to grow and expand our programs in partnership with our skilled and dedicated educators, our West Long Branch families, and the New Jersey Department of Education. As an educator, I have the privilege every year of witnessing the astounding growth and learning and absolute magic that occurs during a child's preschool years. Knowing now that this experience will soon be available to all of our students, I couldn't be more excited about the tremendous impact this will have on our small, strong community. We would like to thank Governor Murphy and the state legislature for understanding and promoting the importance of early childhood education and for making this opportunity available to us. I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to the families, the students, the teachers, and the staff of our fine school district for always promoting our mission of putting students first. Thank you.
That was so well done, Christina. And you, boom, nailed it. As they say in Hollywood, it's a wrap. So, Mayor, thank you so much for hosting us. Betty, looking down on us, bless you. Senator, Majority Leader, Superintendent, Principal, Commissioner, Donna, all the educators, Assemblywoman. It's a real special day to be here in West Long Branch, and a special week, having kicked off, as you said, on Monday. There's more of this to come, God willing, in the months and years ahead. And again, thank you so much for hosting us, and for me personally being hosted so graciously. Thank you all.